Where are we going to start, Matt?
So we'll just walk up.
We are here today, as always, with the mission to connect, to educate, and to inspire. Where are we, Matt?
We're at Tim's place in Ansted, which is the back of Brisbane. Beautiful state forest right behind us. We've worked together on different projects and we've always been scheming, of like ideas and things that we could do. But nothing's fully come to fruition because it's just beyond just the two of us to do it, especially with, we also have jobs and lives outside of this. We've just kept this idea alive, and a big part of that is credit to Tim, who you'll have to, get to sit down and talk to, who's had this concept of an organisation he calls Earth Invest. And the point of Earth Invest is to channel capital and talent into projects that are needed in order to solve the industrial societal problems we have.
Yeah.
And they're all quite solvable, but they require a holistic solution. And most of the problems we have are just because it's cheaper and easier to, make new things rather than recycle. Or, you can make your cattle grow really fast if you pump them full of hormones and feed them a heap of grains. But then the consequences are the health effects and the land degradation that you have from that. So it's not like we're reinventing the wheel. We're just trying to collect all the solutions and package them in a way that we can replicate, across the world with essentially like a template that allows you to just get up and going really quickly. This weekend was something I've been wanting to see happen for a long time, was where we got everyone together. We're starting to plant the seeds of, how we go forward from here.
Yeah.
So what we're doing here is we're drying out the weeds that we pull out and then feeding them through the mulcher,
Mm-hmm.
and then like whatever seeds grow back out of that, then we cover them.
Mm-hmm.
And once that's all dry, then we're throwing it straight on the compost here.
That looks nutritious. Tasty.
This is Tim's aquaponics project. Around here we've got some
fish.
And for those of you who don't know, aquaponics is like hydroponics but without chemicals. So the fish up the top, all of their nutrients flow down into these tubs. And then in this one, this is interesting. We basically just left this, but we've got black soldier fly larvae. They just demolish organic waste.
Yeah, right.
There's huge potential that we want to look into about, disposing of all the food waste with these little guys. They grow pretty big into these like tiny flies that don't have a mouth. So they just breed and die with like a really short life cycle. And then you can grind them up into like a pet meal, or they're excellent chicken feed. That's part of your sort of closed system, is you can get food waste, which people literally have to pay to get rid of, feed it to these things, get their waste, throw it in the compost, get these, make food for pets, then you've got your chicken.
Yeah. No waste.
Yeah.
That's what we like. Waste less.
Well, I guess the first thing I would say is it takes more than a stainless steel straw and a selfie to actually change problems. I've got no time for that, quite frankly. A big part of my passion for this is the only travel I've really done has been to Southeast Asia. And, if I'd gone to Bali in the early 80s, I'm sure it would have been a paradise. But I can't look past the plastic everywhere and the influences, moving the rubbish out of the way to take a photo of themselves in a pristine waterfall. Like, that's just the height of avarice for me.
Oh, mate, don't get me started on that.
I would say the two biggest problems we have are this endless consumption, inflation-based currency where you have to make money in order to grow it into more money, which means you don't care what you make as long as you sell it. And this narcissism of social media where, if you're beautiful, you can earn a living just by taking photos of yourself.
And not only that, it's also perpetuating this false reality, which sadly a lot of young people compare themselves to, which then creates this lack of self-worth because they're comparing themselves to something that doesn't even exist. It's not even real.
Well, I think the thing with all of these influences, and this is a bit off topic, but it's relevant, is it's like we live in such a toxic world that poisons people in every single way. And the few people that make it through healthy are extracted by the system, put in the arena, put on the theatre, wherever. Equality is a fantasy concept. There are no two equal things in the universe, which is why we have prize fighting and horse racing and everything like that. Saying that like there's unattainable standards of life, it's not unattainable, it's just not distributed. But if you were to make everyone healthy and strong and happy, which is quite easy to do in theory, it's just complex to execute because it needs a holistic redesign of society, you wouldn't have these problems. And you wouldn't have these narcissistic influencers wasting everyone's time and destroying the planet, because they would actually get fulfillment from the things that they're doing.
Yeah.
So I think what we've achieved this weekend is to collect a bunch of people who have their lives sorted, have their skills, who want to actually do things rather than just pretend to do things and get the accolades for it.
If what we're saying right now is resonating with you, then please make sure you follow along with the project. You'll be able to see the development of what's been planted here this weekend and what we've been discussing and growing over the last year. And in fact, we invite you to not only just become a spectator, but actively get involved to support a movement towards a world where we truly waste less, we become more efficient, more loving, more connected with ourselves, with each other, and with our beautiful Mother Earth. Then join us. So on that note, mate, love your work, love you.
Thank you.
Love you guys. And remember, waste less and love more.